Trump accused the critics of Trump media stock as an investment last week by labeling them, quote, radical left Democrats, spreading fake news about the number of users each month, or merely mentioning financial data contained in the SEC filings made by Trump media. Labeling by Trump works on the intended audience, members of his cult in particular, and avoids actually presenting rebuttal evidence of any kind. One problem on the number of monthly users is that Trump media does not disclose that information, even if it has it. This is one of the risks that is set out at page 26 of the SEC filed annual report. It says, quote, TMTG does not currently and may never collect, monitor, or report certain key operating metrics used by companies in similar industries. News organizations consequently rely on private companies who independently measure users. And merely by stating those numbers draws the ire of Trump media personnel and employees and Trump's cult members. The Washington Post pointed out that the Trump media revenue that was reported in the SEC annual report for 2023 was about what an average McDonald's restaurant generates annually, and it cited a report from an industry publication called QSR. The Post shared the data that it took from Trump's media SEC filings and asked for a response before publishing an article today, April 7, 2024, that is titled, quote, Trump Social lost $58 billion last year. Here's who made money anyway. Then it cites all the people who made money from Trump Social. This is the response from the Trump media representative, Shannon Devine, and it is now a standard response when anyone associated with Trump or Trump is asked about facts. Quote, Truth Social just successfully launched as a public company with a committed and expanding audience of millions of users, so it's no surprise the partisan activist at the Washington Post, already the target of an ongoing legal action for its defamatory reporting on us, would gin up this sort of ridiculous hit piece. I mean, they're just citing information from the SEC reports. Note that no effort is made by this representative to actually rebut the statements in the article with facts. That is not necessary in Trump's America and is actually frowned upon, I think. Trump media did file a defamation lawsuit against the Washington Post, which was dismissed by a federal judge for failure to state a claim. Trump media was seeking $3.8 billion. I'm not going to discuss the allegations. I consider these kind of lawsuits frivolous. The decision was made to dismiss the case by Trump-appointed federal district court judge Thomas Barber. The dismissal was without prejudice, so Trump media could try again to state a claim against the Washington Post. Trump media, the judge suggested, would need to meet the following criteria for its complaint to proceed further, and that Trump media would have to, quote, clearly allege, and quote, what aspects of the statements are false in the Post story from 2023, what documents or other information demonstrate the specific aspect was false, and how the Post was aware of the documents or information. If an amended complaint is filed signed by an attorney and there is insufficient factual support underlying these allegations that result either in a summary judgment or a directed verdict in favor of the Post, then I would hope the Post will file a suit for malicious prosecution seeking punitive damages from Trump Media, and attorney's fees from the attorneys that signed the complaint. Otherwise, there is no cost associated with losing a constant series of defamation suits other than possibly attorney's fees for Trump Media, which may not be footing the bill anyways, which is the case for many of the defamation suits filed by Trump. His PACs pay his attorney's fees. Trump also made this statement that I was a little puzzled by last week, and I'm quoting here. Quote, "I think truth is amazing. First of all, it is very solid, having over $200 million in cash and zero debt. More importantly, it is the primary way I get the word out," end quote. Trump Media had convertible promissory notes, which is debt, outstanding before its merger with Digital Acquisition, but those notes were automatically callable into equity and may have already been converted into equity when Trump made that statement. So he may be correct that there is no debt now. More information about the number of shares that were created by this conversion may be provided in the next SEC filed Form 10-Q, which will have the financial results for the first quarter. As I previously noted, Trump is also scheduled to receive an additional 36 million shares as an earnout award that is not based on earnings of Trump Media, which may never happen, but the stock price shortly after public trading started. That will bring his total to about 114.75 million shares in Trump Media. The information of the earnout and how it's earned out can be found in SEC Form 13D filed on April 1st, 2024 at page 4. The $200 million in cash mentioned by Trump is what is puzzling to me. It is lower than the $300 million in cash that Digital World brought into Trump Media with the merger's completion. So I cannot explain what happened to $100 million or whether Trump just simply misspoke and he meant to say $300 million. Truth Social had 5 million mobile and desktop visits in February, according to Similarweb, a site that measures those kinds of things. That data makes it a really small niche player in the social media universe. Facebook, for example, had 3 billion active monthly users when it last reported those users. So that's 3 billion compared to 5 million. With Trump in full support of Truth Social throughout 2023, the company generated only 4.1 million in revenues for the entire year, which, as the Post pointed out, is equivalent to about what an average McDonald's restaurant generates in a year.